Hey, what's up guys, this is GVKcollectibles, and today we're going to be taking a trip to Gotham, but just not any Gotham. This seems like a weirder kind of version of Gotham. Things aren't right. And Batman is killing people for some reason, as we take a look at the Flashpoint Batman. And hey guys, as I said, today we're going to be taking a look at the Batman, but not just any Batman. This is Flashpoint Batman, aka Thomas Wayne from the Flashpoint universe, who also, it's very weird because he also jumped into the main DC universe. He was, I think, a big part of the story, City of Bane story arc by Tom King in his last little run of the Batman title. So I haven't read it, so I can't really say what the heck Thomas Wayne is doing, but assumingly he's just chilling in the main universe now. So, but as always with these McFarlane figures, granted no figure in the packaging of course, but you know, they all come in this beautiful open window packaging, which I really love. I really love the design that McFarlane has done with these DC figures, and I'm surprised of how many figures of this line I've been collecting. I really love this line. I think it's really, really cool. My first really Marvel Legends didn't really catch my, I think they're cool, they're really great figures, but I don't know, it's just something about the DC figures. I love the 7-inch scale, mainly because I collect the NECA figures, and those are primarily in the 7-inch scale. So, but yeah, then you get Batman. Then you get some really, really cool art on the back. So this is actually going to be the card that you see with the Batman figure. And this one is Source 20 Batman 22. I think this was a part of the Button storyline, but I could be completely wrong on that because I think it was just its own separate thing. But it's a beautiful piece done by, I think, David Finch, I believe, who was the main artist on Batman, and it's just phenomenal. I love the Thomas Wayne design. As I said, there's more figures within the line. There's the Joker, the Rebirth Joker, which we'll get to. We're going to review that guy on the show anyway. Rebirth Flash, which we reviewed, White Knight Batman, which actually looks pretty cool, and the design's actually kind of grown on me, Curse of the White Knight Azrael, and Dawnbreaker from Dark Knight's Metal. So, with that all the way, and also you get Flashpoint Batman here, so this is their, they are advertising this as the Flashpoint Batman. Of course, that makes sense, because that's the first time we got to see Thomas Wayne as Batman, a far more brutal Batman, where he kills people, which is kind of interesting, because I would like to see him and Grim Knight go up against each other. I think that'd be a really, real cool battle. But with that out of the way, let's get to Batman, or Thomas Wayne himself. I have Thomas Wayne out of the packaging, aka Flashpoint Batman, and I think he looks really, really awesome. It's probably, it's a really, really cool design, really great. I love the Flashpoint design for Batman. It's a very different comparative to Bruce Wayne. But man, if there's a few pieces on this figure that I think would make a really, really cool updated Batman, because I know the really only comic accurate looking Batman right now is that Detective Comics, and I would also say the Dark Knight's Metal one, just because it is a Rebirth design, but I'm talking a main good looking newer design. I think there's a little problems with that first Batman figure that McFarlane did, but ultimately if they decide to reuse some parts with this guy, I'll be completely down. Once again, he doesn't come with too many accessories, but the accessories he comes with make sense, but man, generally the lack of accessories does make up that for this figure, because it is so cool. I love the Thomas Wayne design. So, without me gabbing on, before we take a closer look at Thomas Wayne himself, let's take a look at the accessories. And as I continuously say, Batman does come with some, Flashpoint Thomas Wayne Batman does come with a few accessories, only a few, but those accessories are pretty cool and well done. So the first thing I want to point out is, as always, these DC figures always come out with these cool cards. You get this really cool piece of David Finch's art from Batman 22, and this is the Flashpoint Batman, giving you a complete bio, giving you a complete bio and read-up of Batman, Thomas Wayne, and basically kind of learning what he's been up to. So it's really, really cool to see that with these cards, just to give you a little background on the characters. Like all DC figures, they also come with the base with the DC logo embroidered on it, which looks really, really cool. Really well done, I think. Not much I could say else about this. The base is practically the same, but the main accessories that it comes with is these two pistols. These are two Desert Eagles, it looks like. Very cool. They are actually kind of solve a complaint that I had with like the Grim Knights Batman's weapons, where they were very flat, kind of black colors. These actually do have some silver dry brushing on them, which look really, really good, really well done. Hopefully that's picking up in the camera. It looks really, really cool, well done. These are actually really, really cool molded Desert Eagles, I think. Some of the best kind of 6-inch gun molds I've ever seen. With some of the Batman with a Batman figure, nonetheless. But this is a Batman. This Batman doesn't likes killing, so that definitely makes sense. But yeah, really well done. They are very, I think they use a similar mold for the Jason Todd's weapons too, with a few exceptions here and there, but we'll get to that 2-pack eventually. So with that out of the way, let's get on to some of the details on the Batman himself. And here's, we have Thomas Wayne Batman, as I said. Looks really cool. So the thing I want to point out is the head sculpt on this guy is absolutely phenomenal. Like, he doesn't really have too much of the beard, because the beard, like, kind of the after the 5 o'clock show, which is, I think, of people I've talked about saying that this is a good figure. The only problem that they have is, like, he barely has any 5 o'clock shadow. But I think this Batman, this head sculpt right here, can be really, really good. Like, it's a really, really awesome head sculpt. It definitely, if they put this guy, I've actually seen people put this head sculpt with on the Detective Comics Batman, the Detective Comics 1000, which is really kind of our only accurate looking Batman of how he looks right now in the comics. And it looks relatively good. It's not too small, not too big. I don't think this body, like, I think McFarlane's been doing a better job with, like, proportions with their figures. Also, you get the cool Bat logo, which I really have loved this design for the Bat logo. It's very unique, very different. It has kind of hints of Bloodshot, if you guys know that Valiant comic. Like, that's really cool. Like, it's really well done. Paint apps, it's very much a gray, but you also get a lot of detailing here and there to show that this is kind of like not a Kevlar suit, but a polymer kind of suit, which is really good. The gauntlets are like, look at those are like crazy. I think they're like, these are probably my favorite gauntlets on any of the Batmans, because they're just so crazy and not over the top. Also, once again, the little hoofs right here on the back, I think they look really good. Cape looks really well done too. I do state by my thing that my favorite cape so far with all these McFarlane Batmans is the Arkham Knight one. I think it's just cool. It has that lot of kind of dynamicness to it. Then you get the red belt, which is like a really solid red color. I don't really see any kind of shading at all on this, but then you get the boots, which look really, really good. Like, look really brutal too. Then you get the holsters too, and the best thing about the holsters too is, unlike a lot of the figures, unlike a lot of like figures that have holsters, you can actually use these for storage. So if you don't, although I wouldn't know why you would have this particular Batman without his guns, which looks really, really cool. Also, like, you can kind of see the detailing on, like, because they're scuffed up too. That's the crazy thing, is that these are not like normal. Yeah, it's just really well detailed figure. Like, I think this is probably the best, like, one of the best Batman figures I've seen from McFarlane. I think their Arkham Knight figure is really solid, but man, this is really, really cool. This is a really cool comic book Batman. And I do really like Thomas Wayne Batman. I haven't read Flashpoint, but I do love the movie Flashpoint. I really love Kevin McKidd, who is Soap McTavish in the Modern Warfare games. He was in Dog Soldiers too. He voices Batman in Thomas Wayne, which he does a really, really good job. I think it's really cool. I like his dynamic with Barry Allen in that movie. It's really, really cool, really well done. So, next things first, let's get into articulation. So, Batman can look up all the way like that, which is really, really good. I think you want for that in a Batman figure, sorry if that was a sound, his arms can move up all that, like about that. It is a little hindered by the cape, which is okay. They can move down all that way. He has double jointed elbows, but it's kind of hard to get him in the double jointed because of the gauntlets of how really massive they are, but that's okay because you don't really need to get him up too hard. He does come with an ab crunch, which, like, he can move back. Also, a waist swivel. Yeah, he's got a waist swivel right. But yeah, there's even articulation right here within the lower jaw. So he can kick up about that far, which a little hindrance due to the holster, but a thing that I like is the holsters are not connected necessarily to the leg itself, which is really, really well done, I think, in case of McFarlane. He has double jointed elbow, double jointed knees, His feet can look up, down, and like once again, I think the cool thing with these McFarlane joints is because there is the little joint right here. You can actually rotate the joint itself, and you can actually like get him to pivot, which is really cool. I like these joints. They very much remind me of Rebeltech joints, but I think these ones are done a little bit better. So with that out of the way, let's get into some size comparisons. We have Thomas Wayne Batman next to some other figures from different companies. Of course, we have next to the Wicked Cool Toys Master Chief from the Spartan collection. We have the Ultimate NECA Scout figure that I recently reviewed on the channel, and he is like, this is technically a 7-inch figure, and also this is a 6.5, but he is kind of a little tinier than Master Chief, which doesn't really make sense because he's about 6 something. Well, it technically makes sense. Master Chief is like 7 inches, I believe. Also, he is a dwarf. He's kind of small in comparison to the Predator, which definitely makes sense, but like he does look good comparative to these two figures from these different companies. So he can scale, I think, relatively well with these if you want to have some crazy cool fights with these guys. There's one final comparison as we have them compared to some of the other Batman figures. So I got this, the Dark Knight's Metal Batman, Red Hood from the new Nightwing Red Hood 2-pack, and of course the Arkham Knight Batman. And I actually think, because I think Bruce Wayne, so I mainly comparing these two because this is actually how Bruce Wayne looks in the button, where actually he gets to meet his Flashpoint father, like his father from the Flashpoint universe for the first time. And I do think there is a little scaling problem with them. I do think, but I think that's up to McFarlane completely, because I think I've noticed there is some inconsistent scaling with each figure. But I don't really see it as a bad thing. I really love these two. I much prefer the Arkham Knight Batman. I think these two are in the scale kind of perfectly. And it's actually kind of weird, because I think the Arkham Knight Batman actually has the Flashpoint, you can get the Flashpoint Batman as an alternate costume. And although, of course, I wanted to do a comparison to these two, just because they are the only two gun-toting members of the Bat family, so I figured it was kind of a perfect moment to compare them to. But yeah, I do wish we do, like, get a more comic book accurate looking Batman. Like, not to say that I don't like this guy, I just want something on par with this, but in this design. That's just me, of course. We have Batman and, well, Thomas Wayne Batman and Red Hood next to each other. A little bit of Bat fiction, as I like to call it. It's just a little tribute to Pulp Fiction, but man. So overall thoughts, because it's really cool to see these two figures together. Overall thoughts on the Flashpoint Batman. I think it is arguably one of the best comic book looking Batmans we've gotten from McFarlane. There is some minor complaints. The biggest minor complaint is the 5 o'clock, not enough of the 5 o'clock shadow to determine, like, this is a much older Batman, but, like, that's a minor gripe overall with the figures. I love the cape design. I love the little hoofs. I just generally love the Flashpoint design. It's such a unique design for Batman, specifically Thomas Wayne, of this version of Batman, but it is really cool to have these two next to each other, of course. I think I do like him a lot more comparative to the Grim Knight. His gun, like, especially his weapons, his guns, even though he only comes with a few accessories, the two guns mainly, they are really well detailed. I love the silver dry brushing on them just to give them that kind of extra, kind of realism to them, as opposed to the Grim Knight. But I think with a lot of the McFarlane figures, it's Todd kind of learning, like, mistakes, because there is a lot of improvement with each of these figures, which is really great and a good thing to see. Overall, would I recommend you guys picking this up? Absolutely. I think this is one of the coolest Batman figures that we've gotten from McFarlane. And we haven't even gotten to the death metal stuff yet. Like, that stuff isn't even out yet, and that Batman looks pretty cool, along with the motorcycle and the Damien. Like, a lot of those figures, including, like, the Wonder Woman and everything. So, yeah, I would definitely suggest picking this figure up. And I would also suggest, because they do, if you can't find the Nightwing 2-pack, definitely pick up Red Hood, the single pack of Red Hood. He should be coming out, probably February, or he's out already. But overall thoughts, just, yeah, awesome Batman. It's a awesome action figure. McFarlane has been continuously doing such a great job with the DC line. I think been doing a little bit better than Mattel was doing, but ultimately that's just my opinion. So with that out of the way, that's everything. So if you guys like the video, make sure to hit like and make sure to hit subscribe so you get notified when figure reviews, What's in the Box Wednesday, and Mythical Mondays come out. Also check us out on Instagram, Jack's Pop Guy, and of course you can follow me at GVKcollectibles. Also check out our respective Mercari shops. We post a lot of cool stuff on each of them. Depending on what you're going to go after. Like, Cole, my brother has a lot more Funko Pops, and I have like kind of a little bit more like action figures and older DVDs if you are interested. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and be safe, and yeah, well, yeah, I think that's it. And yeah, once again, have a great weekend, be safe, and peace.